You're listening to Beyond the Gates T, the podcast. Welcome to Beyond the Gates T, the podcast powered by the NAACP. I'm your host, Cornelius, and wait a second. I gotta say that again. Welcome to Beyond the Gates T, the podcast powered by the NAACP. I'm your host, Cornelius, and as you can imagine, a lot has happened since my last podcast episode.
I just thank God for this opportunity and that I live to see an African-American soap opera not only come alive, but thrive.
Yes, that is Mr. Clifton Davis, who plays Vernon Dupree. At the NAACP National Convention, I had the chance to moderate a panel with him and Brandon Claiborne, who plays Martin. That podcast episode with our full conversation will be dropping in the next week or so. I'm so excited to be working with the NAACP. It's truly an honor to have my work recognized and supported by them as I support Beyond the Gates. It is something I don't take lightly. And I want to thank all of you listening right now. Whether you're following me on social media or just like to hear me talk here, thank you so much, because the partnership between the NAACP and I would not be possible without you. Also, we got to talk about Beyond the Gates getting nominated for 15 Daytime Emmys. They made history, right? The first soap opera in its first year to rack up that many nominations. 8 of them were for acting. Jasmine Burke as June, Amber Michelle as Eva, Ariel as Naomi, Carla as Danny, Miss Tamara Tooney as Anita, Timon and Mike, Bill and Smitty, and of course, Trisha Mann Grant as our fave, Leslie Dana Thomas. They're also in the running for the big award, Outstanding Daytime Drama Series. And I'm calling it now, a clean sweep across the board. They're going to win in every category in which they're nominated, though 6 of them are up against each other for awards. Amber and Ariel, Carla and Miss Tamara Tooney, along with Timon and Mike, Best Emerging Actor, Best Lead Actress, and Best Supporting Actor. As they say, a feather in one of our caps is a feather in all of our caps, so it'll be exciting to see Beyond the Gates at the Daytime Emmys. Okay, now that we got all of that out of the way, let's dive into the last week or so of Beyond the Gates. And I'm going to start with one of the most shocking revelations. Heather, Joey's sister, is back in town to kill Smitty. Now, I know I talked about it, and many of you guessed it as well. Smitty's involvement with the plasma ring storyline was going to backfire on him in some way. He's currently writing all these articles on it. Heather told Joey she has an informant at the FBI, and because of these stories that Smitty is writing, the agency is looking to more of the plasma rings she's in charge of around the country and presumably the world, probably working with, FBI agencies. Well, you know what I mean, like the other countries' FBIs. And for what it's worth, Joey isn't having any of it. Now, he's not a good guy, but in this case, he's not having it. He's telling her no, she is not going to kill Smitty. And this just shows how ruthless Heather is. It's looking like she has a high body count just like her brother. And I absolutely love the showdown we got between Vanessa and Heather. This is their first time meeting, but if you remember, Heather called Vanessa the bad blonde bleach job hanging on his arm. This was during the tornado coverage. She saw some TV news footage while it was happening. Anyway, I am really looking forward to seeing these two go at each other and for Vanessa to hopefully start making connections and seeing the reality around her. Joey is not this great guy. Deanna is trying to help with that by making peace and being the good daughter, but Joey is incredibly skeptical, and I love it. This is all Vanessa has wanted, so when Joey pushes back on Deanna being involved in her life, she gets incredibly defensive, and I think him crossing the line with her children should be enough to end her relationship, I hope. Deanna's plan with her father, yes, Doug, is working. Now, if you follow me on social media, I've said countless times, Beyond the Gates is not going to bring anyone back from the dead, but I love how they're using Doug in this storyline, guiding Deanna from the grave or perhaps from her mind to get justice for him. Now, Miss Birdbrain has to not let Joey go through any more of her dead husband's belongings so she can find more of those handwritten notes that Doug left behind. Joey, of course, burned the one he found, but I have to believe there are more, and so does Joey. Not only does he have Randy trying to get information from Deanna about her intentions, but he now has him trying to find any safe deposit boxes or storage units that could contain any more of those letters. Joey going down is going to be so delicious. Andre's past is now in his present. Ever since the tornado ripped through Fairmont Crest, Andre has been professing his love to Danny, and she is feeling guilty as hell for sleeping with Bill in the elevator. They've had some contentious arguments, all because it's eating Danny up on the inside about what she did. But now she may have an out. When Andre arrives to Danny's place, kind of his place, I guess, there's a package. And when she gets home, she sees it and thinks it's a gift from him. But he quickly says, no, it's not from me. Once she opens it, we get some pensive, inquisitive music. Shout out to the music team. They were nominated for a Daytime Emmy as well. And Andre looks shocked at this bottle of wine that she pulls out. It's a special bottle of wine from his past, obviously, and he's so torn up about it, he declines to drink it with her several times when Danny is asking him to indulge in it because it's such a nice wine. He gives in, but clearly he is still shaken by this bottle of special wine and a note congratulating him on his wedding and hoping he gets everything he deserves. Now, many of y'all aren't patient, but I'm so glad they're circling back to this storyline because we all knew something was up when he refused to be photographed for Danny's big return to the modeling world. She passed up on an opportunity to work with the folks on Bold and Beautiful. Ridge Forrester, I believe. You guys always correct me whenever I get that name wrong. And because of it, now whatever secret he's been hiding from his time in France and beyond is now in Fairmont Crest. So what do we think it is? Do we think it's a woman with a baby? Maybe a scorned lover? If Andre has a toddler, I'm going to scream. If Andre has a teenager, I'm definitely going to scream. And do we think Danny is going to use this secret to get out of the relationship without telling him she slept with Bill? You know, I feel like she would do something like that. Something so dirty. That is so dirty. Anyway, it's going to be juicy, and I'm really excited to see Sean, who plays Andre, get to sink his teeth into a really good storyline because right now, I mean, he's doing great work, but he's just professing his love to Danny, and we all know she cheated on him. Naomi finally tells the truth. For months, Naomi has kept her positive BRCA gene variant a secret, only talking to Ashley and a couple of doctors about it. But now she's told everyone and even shared she's considering getting a double mastectomy and having Carlton do the reconstructive breast surgery. Everyone was shocked by the news, but two people in particular were incredibly upset. Chelsea couldn't believe Naomi would keep something so big from her. Now, with some urging from Kat and I think Martin, they were all at the country club whenever she told them, Chelsea got over it quickly and is in full support of whatever Naomi wants to do. But Danny, and I've said this before, it was probably tough having Danny as a mom. Overbearing, demanding, such a big personality. She is gobsmacked when Naomi tells her she's considering getting a double mastectomy and runs to Anita to ask her to talk her out of it. And rightfully so, Anita refuses. She and Naomi have a great scene together where she assures her granddaughter that she's making the best choice for her. And knowing what we know about Naomi, once she has decided on something, that's it. She's doing it. Which leads me to Jacob. He's sat in the doctor's office with her, talking to Dr. Monica, Shanice's aunt, who's the new chief of staff at Garland. And Jacob was supportive. But then she brought up having a hysterectomy because the BRCA gene variant also increases your risk of other cancers, ovarian being one of them. Now, if she does that, the chances of her having a kid goes down to never. And despite Jacob showing support when they hug at the end of that scene, you can see he looks so concerned. If they're going to break up a couple, I think it should be them because Jacob clearly does want to have kids and Naomi doesn't. But if they break up, I'm not sure where that leaves Jacob. Perhaps with Smitty. I know a lot of people love them together, but hear us out. They have such great chemistry on screen. Like, Jacob literally lights up when he and Smitty are talking about the plasma ring investigation. But that would be some mess for real. Smitty divorcing Martin to be with Martin's ex husband to be with Martin's cousin's ex-husband, it'd be juicy and soapy, but it would be so messy and so really out of character for both of them. Kat and Eva have reached a truce, somewhat. The relationship between the half-sisters is thawing because of the liver transplant Kat gave to Eva. They even had a scene together recently where Kat thanked Eva for telling Tomas to get out of her apartment and go talk to Kat about their relationship issues, not her. But Kat still feels some type of way about Eva, and rightfully so. She is pissed off when she sees Chelsea going live with Eva to talk about the transplant, despite her agreeing to it and having them use an alias for the person who gave Eva the liver. I also loved how they had Chelsea and Eva have a conversation about the importance of being a donor. They brought up the skepticism in the Black community, and rightfully so, because of folks like Henrietta Lacks and the Tuskegee experiment, where Black bodies were experimented on and taken from without their consent. We love BTG educating the folks. Anyway, whenever Chelsea arrived at the country club after doing that live, Kat did not have time and told her so. She said something to the effect of, Eva has gotten to every single person in her family, and now even Chelsea. Prior to their scenes, Kat and Samantha were together, and her niece shared how she had hoped the transplant would have softened relations, but no. Kat told Samantha this is what Eva does, plays the victim so well and convinces everyone she's not as bad as Kat knows she is. So where does this relationship go? Personally, and I'm a broken record, so I'm going to keep on saying it, I think it's draining having them at each other's throats for another year, and I'd love for them to start to get to know each other. But the ball's in Kat's court. Eva clearly wants to make amends. I mean, literally, she wants to have a sleepover and be best friends and sisters with Kat. Eva clearly wants to make amends and have Kat as a sister and do all of the fun things she never got to do growing up as an only child. But how does she make up to Kat's satisfaction? Jesus, let me say that again. How does she make up to Kat and Kat be satisfied with it? TBD, though some of you right now are thinking she can turn her mama in for trying to kill Laura twice. And speaking of Leslie, she's putting on this nice routine, but I don't think it's going to hold up. We saw some signs of that when she and Haley had words in the country club over Haley refusing to be friends with her. Leslie ain't changed. Oh, and be sure to listen to the interview I did with Colby Nixon, who plays Kat. We talk about the Eva-Kat dynamic of it all, and she has a lot to say. That podcast episode, I think it's going to come out right after this one, because I did the interview a couple weeks ago. But like I said, it's been busy. We've been doing some things over here, so I'm excited to get that podcast episode out to you this week as well. Okay, here are some other storylines that I don't want to talk a lot about, but I got a little bit to say about them. Bill deserves everything Haley is doing to him. He's stumbling, shaking, passing out, being rude to folks, and he deserves it all. I do not like this Ariana we just met. She's too eager to be working with Vernon, and I can tell you, the fans do not want Vernon in some sort of predicament where he could be accused of cheating. And honey, if you watched that episode, Ariana is cute, young. She had the girl sitting up and perked and just was cheesing like a chess cat, as my mom would say. So, I don't like Ariana. Carlton and Shanice said, I love you. Kyle told Nicole about it, and she talks to Shanice about it. I'm over that storyline. I just think it's so weird that they are dating folks inside that hospital. We met one of Kyle's sons, who's a broke musician that falls back on his dad for money. And two things about this. Greg Vaughn, who plays Kyle right now, posted a cryptic message on his IG, perhaps saying he's done playing Kyle. And there's a new actor coming in. We know this because, well, that actor posted him in Assembly Studios, and then I'm sure he got a phone call, or maybe his publicist got a phone call and said, please take that off of social media. So I don't even know that guy's name, but I know he's in the daytime world, and I've seen his picture. Could he be replacing Kyle? We don't know. And Kyle's son is being set up as a love interest for Deanna. We get to meet him. And I don't know, I saw someone say Deanna is a black girl who goes to an HBCU and is in a black sorority, and her love interest is going to be this white guy who's a broke musician. Make it make sense. Speaking of love, Randy and Mona keep on tugging at our hearts. I really like to see them two together, but if Mona can't forgive Leslie, she will never forgive Randy once she knows all the bad stuff he's done and continues to do. I really hope he didn't kill Lynette because she was such a good character. She came in and made an immediate splash. And first off, hot as hell, like looks so good, so put together, and so sure of herself, right? I mean, she's not new to this. She is true to this. I saw someone say she was the first like new character introduced on the show that it felt like, oh, we got to perk up and see what she's up to. So I really hope Randy didn't kill Lynette and she is waiting in the wings to make Haley's life miserable. Well, if you made it this far, thank you so much. Be looking for my conversation with Mr. Clifton Davis and Brandon here in the next week. And also go check out my conversation with Colby and, drumroll please, I'll be releasing my conversation with Ariel Prepetit, who was just nominated for a Daytime Emmy for her portrayal of Naomi. So be looking for that. I may just give it to you all at once because it's been a little dry over here on Beyond the Gates the podcast. But there are exciting times all around, especially with my partnership with the NAACP. So I can't wait to share with you what's in store. Until next time, I love you for listening.